Jeffrey, so excited to have you here today. We are going to cover so many tickers today. We're starting out with a couple of sectors on your dump list, but eventually you're going to get into 3 different sectors and cover 8 different stock tickers that are on your buy recommendation with where they're at right now and some pretty deep pullbacks on a few of these names. So I'm excited to get into your big list today. What are the 3 stocks that you are liking in the eVTOL space?
Okay, so the first one is going to be Joby, ticker symbol JOBY. First stock I ever wrote about. I really like this stock. It's been around for a long time. It's taken some hits in sentiment and had some problems here and there along the way. But when it comes down to it, we're right here at the beginning of the second half of 2026, and they're right where they said they're going to be.
Let's get on to the next name on your eVTOL list.
The next one on our list is, of course, the direct competitor, Archer. They're the ones that's partnered with Stellantis. They're moving along just about the same clip. And I think that all of these in the same sectors, tend to travel about the same way. And you can look at that as proof kind of that these guys are always kind of like neck and neck. One has a catalyst, it might shoot up a little bit, but the other one's going to follow right behind it because the expectation is that these stocks, they are scaling up their manufacturing facility. They're unlocking different tranches of money to continue on with their certification testing. But the couple things about this one stock is they have a rock solid balance sheet, and they actually were recently inducted into multiple Russell indexes. So that gives them forced institutional buying. They were brought into the Russell 3000, the Russell 2000, the 2500, the small cap complete value index, and the Russell 3000 E value index. It shows a little bit of validity to the stock that the Department of Defense is working to unlock payments to the company. So I guess the difference would be that this stock is locking down on the business side a little bit more than Joby is.
All right, a good look at the comparison of the 2 leaders. You have one other name on this eVTOL list before we move on to the next sector. And this one is probably the most risky play of the 3.
Yeah, this one is the most beat down, and it's going to be Vertical Aviation, and it's eVTOL. They are the English counterpart, the over the seas counterpart to Joby and Archer. They're right there neck and neck with Joby and Archer. They have started manufacturing the first of their proprietary battery technology packs for their Valo aircraft. So they're actually maybe even a little bit further forward because they're manufacturing replacement batteries and stuff like that. But here's the thing about this stock. This one right here gets no action. They get no love from the sector. They get no love from anybody. It's incredible to see that this stock is still as beat down as it is.
You have 3 names in this space sector. What's the first space stock that you're looking to add right now?
Right. So the first one's going to be Rocket Lab, RKLB, and I feel like they're probably the closest competitor to SpaceX. I think that they have taken a step even further in that fight with their recent acquisition of Iridium, which gives them a constellation of satellites to work with. So now they kind of are par and par. They're launching and they've got satellite services at the same time. And the nice thing about Iridium is their satellites are L-band satellites versus what SpaceX has. So they actually penetrate through weather. So they're more suited for defense network contracts and logistics networking and that kind of thing. So it gives them a different total addressable market from SpaceX, as well as kind of a combined total addressable market that they can attack.
Let's get right on to the second space stock on your list again.
The next one I also think is really cool, cell phones in space. It's ASTS, and their ticker symbol, of course, is ASTS. And I think that these guys are also a strong competitor with their current launch schedule and their current technology stack. I think that these guys are on track to do something really cool in the second half of 2026.
What's the third space stock you're looking at?
Okay, so Intuitive Machines, LUNR, we're going back to the moon, and they've got to have a vehicle to travel around in. And I think that LUNR, outside of that technology, is doing some pretty amazing things.
But let's get into the first one that you're looking at in energy.
Okay, so in the energy sector, we're going to look specifically at what is called behind the meter power generation. What we're looking at in the second half is that everybody in the first half realized that data centers can't just be built from scratch and plugged into the, electrical power grid. That created the SMR thesis, and that created all of these energy theses and consolidating and spinning up nuclear power plants and all of that other stuff. When you talk about behind the meter power, one of the number one places you want to look is going to be fuel cell energy, and it's FCEL. And they've actually done a couple of things here recently to lock in sort of a moat in that arena of behind the meter power.
Let's get on to the second name you are looking at in the energy sector. And this one has had the most tremendous growth story, I think, of any energy stock. It's up over 1,100%, even with some recent pullbacks.
Okay, so we're talking about Bloom Energy and their BE. The thesis that I was talking about a few minutes ago, where AI data centers are requiring behind the grid power so that they don't have to connect to the power grid, has been proven out 100% by Bloom this week. The biggest catalyst that's happened with Bloom and the proof in the thesis that we were talking about a minute ago with AI is that they recently partnered with Brookfield Corporation. Okay, they are kind of like a data center all-in-one builder. So Brookfield has acknowledged the fact that connecting to the power grid at this point is almost impossible. And the only way you're going to be able to do this is with solid oxide fuel cells, small modular reactors, something along that line. And so they've actually partnered with Bloom to roll out a complete data center blueprint where you get the ground floors, you get the cooling, you get the four big ones. You get the concrete, you get the kilowatts, you get the cooling, and you get the copper. So they put all that together, and you basically have a data center package that runs from day one off of a Bloom Energy fuel oxide cell. And that allows them to get everything up and running. And then once the hydrogen economy kind of catches up to the fossil fuel economy, these fuel oxide cells can be switched over to hydrogen to make these green energy plants.